The first official Deadpool and Wolverine figures are finally here, and no, it's not the Marvel Legends or the SH Figure Arts. Let's open them up, check them out, and of course, do some toy photography. We finally have some official Deadpool and Wolverine figures from the actual movie. And no, this isn't the Marvel Legends, this isn't the SH Figure Arts, this isn't a hot toy. This is a ZD Toys 1/10 scale Deadpool action figure, which that's pretty cool. Have you ever heard of ZD Toys before? Well, me neither, until I saw some pictures from SDCC recently, San Diego Comic-Con, and there were some new Deadpool and Wolverine figures by ZD Toys, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I saw these figures here on AliExpress, and I instantly thought, oh cool, these are some other new bootlegs. And I didn't really connect the dots until someone, lots of comments in my last video about Deadpool said, no, those are ZD Toys, they're official, they're not bootleg. And I was like, oh, that was these ones? And it's weird because you can't really buy these in the US at all. If you really look on the back, there's no English or anything on here except for Deadpool and Wolverine. So apparently, and please correct me if I'm wrong, there's some type of licensing agreement with Marvel and Hasbro, so they're the only figures of this kind of price range to be able to be released in the USA or something like that. So in China, those laws are obviously not there. I don't know, but if you go on places like AliExpress, you can find these figures. And surprisingly for AliExpress, these came in pretty safely. The boxes are kind of totally pristine. So a lot of people have also said ZD Toys is really cool for Iron Man stuff. They've got great Iron Man figures. I've also seen some cool Venom kinds of figures that have been released recently as well. So that's pretty cool. But really what people I think are really excited about are some actual Deadpool and Wolverine figures. So of course, if you're a fan of Deadpool and that movie, I've got a lot more Deadpool content coming out soon as far as action figures and accessories go. And I've got a few more on the channel right now. So please, I would definitely recommend subscribing if you're into that. And if you do, thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. And you won't regret it, I promise, you won't. So right off the bat though, I'm very impressed with this packaging. I'm gonna take this shrink wrap off right now, just so I can get a good look at this. There's really a lot of cool stuff, texture going on these packages. I usually don't go too far into packaging, even though I love packaging in my videos, but I'm really impressed with these. Just the design in general with these two, portraits on the front is just super cool. And there's even some metallic kinds of textures going on in the background there. And these guys were only 20 something bucks a piece, considering you're getting a full figure and you're getting these probably pricey packaging. I'm very impressed, really cool. Oh wait, crap, I didn't even realize that. Wow, okay.
Wow.
Look at that, I didn't even realize that these opened up like that. Whoa, cool. So these guys are 1/10 scale, which means they're a little bit bigger than a Marvel Legends, and especially bigger than an SH Figure Arts. And I've also heard that these figures are okay, not a whole lot of detail, and there's not a whole lot of articulation, but they look good on the shelf, apparently. So I'm very curious, but anyway, let's just get into this, open them up, and see what these guys are actually all about. Okay, here they are. And yeah, they're a little bit bigger than, a normal, whatever, 6-inch figure. They do look pretty good. I think the sculpts are actually quite nice. I think there is a little bit of a lack of paint, though. There's yellow, blue, black, done. Red, black, done. There's no real detailing, you know what I mean? Which isn't terrible. There's a little bit of gold here on the chest and some small pieces here and there, but it is definitely very dull looking on the costume, especially Wolverine. He's just kind of flat. And that's not a huge terrible thing. It's definitely the first thing I'm noticing though. I think the face on Wolverine, the paint isn't crazy detailed. It's not bad, like I said, but I don't think it's on the level of the Marvel Legends, especially not the new one that looks incredible. Plastic as well feels pretty light in some areas. I feel like a lot of things like the legs and thighs are very hollow. I feel like a Marvel Legends is heavier than this, even though this is bigger. Very interesting, very, very interesting. I'm very curious to see what else we've got going on here. Okay, let's see. They are exactly 7 inches. This is about exactly a McFarlane size for sure. Yeah, this is totally McFarlane sized. Yep, there we go. Just about exactly. So yeah, as far as I've heard and everything, they're just about what I thought. Yeah, so far they look pretty good, just like figures from afar on the shelf. They look quite good. I think I'm gonna give them a little bit of weathering. I think that's gonna make a really nice difference. So I'll do that afterwards, later on in the video. But let's see what's up with this articulation. There's a couple things I've noticed right off the bat. One is not so good, one is really cool. I was trying to move the feet around so I could get him to stand, and the ankles don't have much movement. And then as I was doing it, it popped off, and I noticed it's got a ball joint in the foot, which is really odd. Isn't that weird? And you can just pop it right back in, and there's not a whole lot of movement. So if I'm just trying to get him to stand, I mean, you can get him to stand just fine, but sometimes I'm dealing with him doing this. You know, that's not good. So you gotta kind of like, and then there you go. But they do have a toe joint, so you can do that. So that's cool at least, right? This other thing that's pretty cool is, you know how a lot of figures have like butterfly joints on the shoulders? This one's got like butterfly joints on steroids. Like look at that, he's got a big muscular pose because of that. Like, look how far back that goes in the back there. Like it's pretty cool. I love the way this looks, to be honest. Like he's puffing out his shoulders like that. I think that's like kind of a cool pose as is, you know? And Deadpool looks like he's got the same thing. It doesn't seem to be quite as drastic, but he's got the same thing. All right, let's actually give these joints a try here. They actually feel kind of good when you move them around. Like they're a little bit loose, not super tight or anything. It's a great little elbow movement there. Not a whole lot of ab going on. As far as legs go, okay, you can pop out the leg a little bit. Bring it up. Not the best thigh. You got something at least. It's not super crazy. And you've got very McFarlane looking knees, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, you know, this reminds me of the way McFarlane knees look. Honestly, the legs around the top of the thigh crotch area is really kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's really restricting anything. If you try to move the legs, and look, there's already damage right there from me moving it around so much, and it has caused some wear right on there. Be careful. Look, I've already even made it worse again. See that little mark on there? Jeez, man. The figure itself does look cool. So if you put it in very subtle types of like walking poses like this, it looks good. So if you kind of like exploit its strengths by just looking cool and put it in very simple poses, I think you're gonna have a great looking figure right here. Just be careful with it. Don't go too far with it or it's just gonna look goofy. So if you look right here, Deadpool's got guns that are holstered, but they are not exactly able to be pulled out. Just like permanently holstered guns. He doesn't come with any others. He just comes with swords and stuff. So I wonder if there's some type of also similar type of rule / law that McFarlane has where they can't put out guns with their DC figures. I guess I could always give them my golden guns I made in the last video. So if you want to go see how to make those guns, definitely check out the last video. Here it is. It's in the description too. I am noticing now too with Deadpool, just by putting him in this little simple pose, you can really move the waist quite a bit over like that. That's actually kind of cool. It's weird. Some articulation's like interestingly quite great, but some is just like really bad. Like, what is going on? There's a little bit more going on with Deadpool's costume, so the detail looks a little bit better, especially here on the belt. I think the belt looks pretty good. So again, with Deadpool, if you just, I think, put him in some very simple poses, it's gonna look cool. So just stick with that. All right, let's take a look and see what kinds of accessories they've got. They both come with these pretty cool stands. They don't look crazy functional, but they're definitely quite cool looking, and especially if you just want to put these on the shelf and display them, which I really do think that's the main purpose for them. These are great for that. They've got a cool little Deadpool Wolverine thing on the bottom. How cool is that? So Deadpool comes with a few things, including 2 katana swords, adamantium katanas. He's got a bunch of hands, actually maybe not a bunch, he's got 4 hands. He's got the fists he's got on, a couple of pointer fingers, and then these sword holding hands. So even if I wanted to give him guns, I don't think you can have him hold guns, which that's a little unfortunate for sure. He also comes with a little baby knife, and I was actually surprised to see this, but he does actually come with other eye thingies you can replace his eyes with to make him a little more expressive. That's kind of cool. I wasn't expecting that, and they're magnetized, so you can kind of pop them in and out nice and easy, and I'll probably use the baby knife to help pop them in and out, to be honest, which is kind of funny, but kind of useful. Something I quite like a lot is he's got these little katana holder thingies in his back, which I like that a lot, actually. I think that looks really cool, and I like it way better than the little stick things in the back of the figure arts, because I already lost one of them, and I just like the way that looks. Like, that looks good, doesn't it? The Wolverine just comes with hands. He comes with the fists he's already got on, and then he also comes with, of course, 2 claw hands, which are a little bit flimsy. They do the job. And he's got 2 open hands, which I think Deadpool is very jealous of Wolverine for not having these, because not having open hands kind of sucks, not gonna lie. And then just some more aggressive butt grabbing hands or something over here, so that's cool. Also, as I'm switching out the hands, I noticed they have the same kind of ball joint that the feet have as well. So it's a little bit better and more functional, I think, on the hands than the feet, I'd say. So my Deadpool and Wolverine collection's a little limited, not gonna lie, but these are the ones I have to compare them. This is the Mezco Wolverine, and then this is the SH Figure Arts Deadpool, the first one. Both great figures. These are the ones I usually use in my toy photography, and I think they're great. Here's a quick comparison. They're way bigger than both of these. These guys kind of scale pretty well together, but these are more on the McFarlane level of stuff, which isn't a bad thing at all, except for if you're trying to get him to scale with things, then it's a bad thing. Okay then, well, what is the verdict for these 2 ZD Toys figures? I mean, before I give my rating of L whatever, I do want to say it's really cool just to have these figures as the very first figures officially from Deadpool and Wolverine, and having them this quickly after the release of the movie is pretty awesome. So that already gives it a pretty great scale in my book. But what would you give these guys, a W or an L? I actually am thinking about changing my scale a little bit to a W, an L, or an M. Because I always give W's all the time. It's really hard for something to get an L in my book. So I was thinking doing an M for mid. I think these are more on the M side. As far as figures themselves go, they're an M. If I had the figure arts and the Marvel Legends of these guys with me right now, they would so easily fall into the M compared to those. But these are the only ones I've got, so it's making me feel really good about them. I'm gonna give them a high M. What do you think? Do you give them a W, an L, or an M? Let me know. But either way, I'm happy to have them, and I'm happy to finally be making this video. I'm having a great time with these figures for sure. So now I want to give these guys a really slight weathering, and it's gonna be really easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just grab some paint, water it down, and give these guys a nice black wash. Okay, so I've got Deadpool and Wolverine on my little paper plate right here, and in this little Pokemon cup, I've got a bunch of very watered down black paint. That's all. It's a very, very cheapo kind of paint. You can find this right here at Walmart. I'll have it linked in the description, but it's real cheap stuff, and that's all you need. It's only like $3 for a big thing, and this will last you a lifetime. So I'm just going to put a very, very slight amount all over, just kind of slobber it all over the place. Try not to get it on the face and the eyes and stuff. And then after it dries for a little bit, I'm just gonna take my rag and just kind of like wipe it up. And then so hopefully a lot of the blacks will be still in the crevices. I'm gonna give it a quick coat of a matte finish afterwards, and then it'll be all done. It's gonna be a really quick customization. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, this is how they're looking right after the wash, and pretty simple. They're just a little bit darker. There's some slabs of black in there, some darker things, and it looks much better. And once I do the quick spray of the matte finish, it's gonna be all done, and we can do like an official side-by-side before and after. So I'm gonna go do that. All right, and here we go. We are all set. They look really good. An incredibly subtle and easy thing to do, but at the same time, it looks so good. And it also looks a lot like how they do at the end of the movie too, and they're really dirty, except for unfortunately with Wolverine's sleeves. That would be great if he had some sleeveless sleeves as well, but I think it looks great like this. I'm quite happy with how they turned out, front and back and everything. They look a little dirtied up. Very, very happy with that. I'm not gonna lie, my inspiration for toy photography is not super crazy strong right now with these guys. Maybe it's because I've done a lot of Deadpool and Wolverine, or maybe it's just because there's not a whole lot I can do as far as articulation. But I'm still gonna do something and have a great time doing it, and I think I've got an idea now actually. So let's go and take a shot with these guys. So here's my plan. Right now, I'm on my kitchen floor. I've got my two cats over here who hopefully will cooperate with me. Deadpool and Wolverine are on the ground here, posed, ready to interact with the cat. Also, this is hopefully going to be a nice little callback to that one scene from either X-Men 1 or X-Men 2 where the cat's licking his claws. Remember that, Venom? But I've got a ton of light right here, because if I want to capture my cats moving, they're definitely going to be requiring a fast shutter speed, because cats and animals are always moving, so I don't want any blurry photos of them moving around. Venom seems to be enjoying that right now. Can I get a picture of you now? Keep smelling it. Do it again. I've got my remote. Maybe I can get it right now. Nope. Okay. Toxin will show up a little easier on camera because he's a little brighter, and he usually cooperates a little bit more. Are you gonna go do it now? No? Okay. I also have them near a window, which is helping a lot with getting some more light. My shutter speed's at 500 right now. F-stop's at f1.8, so f1.8 will make it low enough to the point where I can have it be brighter with a faster shutter speed. I don't have the brightest, craziest kitchen, but it will be good enough at 500. What do you think? Are you ready to go? And this might take a little bit, but all I gotta do is wait to do something and then take a photo. Just gonna hope for the best and go for it. So, what are we thinking about the first official figures from Deadpool and Wolverine? They're pretty good. They're not the best, but I definitely had a great time messing with them in this video and had a great time shooting them with my cats. Here's a couple of honorable mention photos that were still pretty great. The final photo will be posted on Instagram and on Twitter and on TikTok as always. So definitely make sure to follow me over there as well. And of course, if you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.